thankfully, like over the past 14 episodes, it's gotten definitely. You get a little bit more used to it.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Hear me good?
Yeah, we good.
For
we
sure.
good.
Bring it try to bring it a little closer. So hold the table and then move it. There you go. So what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro.
Yeah, you been good?
Yeah.
How you like living in El Paso?
It's different. Being in New Mexico, we used to come up here all the time.
Yeah.
In Silver City, we ain't had nothing but Walmart, so we used to come up here, go to the mall. But having to live here, it's different. I don't go out, so none of that really changed.
Yeah.
Because there ain't really much to do, but that didn't affect me. It's just like the weather.
Yeah.
I think I got used to that. But
So you never really went out to bars or anything like that?
When I do, I gotta have a certain group of people around me.
Yeah.
Just in case. I'm paranoid when I go out.
Yeah.
So if I'm not with the group of people that I know, I just like
really?
to chill. Yeah.
Damn. So what do you feel when you're outside like that? When you're you just paranoid of shit that might go down or
yeah, it's just I when I go out, I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm good with having a good time. It's just when you go outside, people are just gonna be people. So
yeah,
if something does go down, I want to be with the right people that I know. All right, I'm good. I'm good.
Because that's big, right? The people you're with is you want to be with the people that are gonna handle the situation the right way, right? And
the right way and the way that I'ma handle it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to second guess. If I do something and then I'm second guessing, are they
gonna be on the same shit?
Are we on the same page? You know what I'm saying? So I only got maybe 3 or 4 people I could really trust like that for real.
Yeah.
My brothers obviously, and then some of my friends back home. But yeah, it's just I go out. Me and Frankie go out all the time. But that's different vibe because I'm with my girl, so we just chilling. But when you go to a bar, you got your homies is out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
You want to feel it out a little bit. You just want to feel it out.
Yeah. So just a little intro. So obviously this is the MVP for those of you guys listening, the MVP podcast, the most vulnerable player, and this is episode 14. And today I'm sitting with Marquis Sumpter.
Yes, sir.
So basically, how I know Marquis, or he goes by Keys, we'll call him Keys. How I know Keys is so basically my sister went to Western New Mexico. My sister Stephanie, she played volleyball out there. And then basically Keith went to Western also, but you played football.
Yep.
You're on the football team. And also Frankie, are you guys married?
Fiance.
No, fiance. Sorry, yeah.
Yep.
So his fiance Frankie was my sister's roommate and best friend during college. So that's kind of how I probably met you when I was young though.
I met Diego when he was young. So 2023. Me and Frankie been together for 12 years, so young.
Yeah, young.
young. 8 years ago? I think I first met you when me and Frankie were on a year, I think.
Yeah.
So about 11
I was probably
years
14 or 15.
Yep. Nope. For sure.
Shit, I was still hooping with y'all in open gym.
Yeah. It was way back. Damn, I had to think about that. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Damn, now I feel old now.
Yeah.
I feel old.
But I don't think we've seen each other just here and there, but we've never really got a chance to sit down and actually just really talk, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're able to do this, especially on episode number 14. That's your number.
Yeah, War 14. My uncle who passed when I was in high school, he wore 14, so that's why I switched. So my junior year of high school, sophomore, junior year, 14's been a number. So I know we walked in. Episode 14, I'm like, that's destiny right there. That's destiny.
Yeah. So before you went to Western, you're from California, right?
Yep, San Diego.
Yeah.
Oceanside, but San Diego County.
Okay.
For those who don't know.
So Oceanside that's a neighborhood in San Diego?
It's basically a city inside of a city.
Oh, I thought I always thought you were from LA for some reason. But you've always been from you never moved.
Yeah, no, never. Well, we born in Oceanside, lived in Fallbrook, different places in California, Temecula, all that stuff. But born in Oceanside. My family's from Oceanside, so usually when someone asks me, I just say Oceanside, or I'll say San Diego because people don't know Oceanside.
Yeah.
But Oceanside is born place, and then San Diego. If y'all don't know about Oceanside.
Yeah.
So,
And what was that? What was living in that area like? It's like Oceanside, and because I know a lot of people listen to are like either from El Paso or like Texas. So
Oceanside is the tourist city
Mhm.
of San Diego. So we got the beach. Well, it's diverse, military town as well. So a bunch of different people you meet out in Oceanside. But it's cool. It's kind of surfer-ish vibe out there.
Did you ever surf?
Nah,
No.
I don't even know how to swim.
For real?
I don't know how to swim. Beach is not my. Only went to the beach to work out, but I'm cool. I'm
You
cool.
go on that.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of factors you can't control in the water, so I definitely understand that shit.
People ask me all the time, you don't go to the beach? I'm like, when you from there and you see it all the time, it's like, nah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cool.
Used to it,
it's cool, but like I used to go. The high school I went to, predominantly white, so all my friends from over there used to go to the beach all the time. So I would go with them, but I didn't go because I didn't swim, so I just figured, go for bonfires and stuff. But other than that, the beach is cool. It's cool. And we lived by the beach when I was younger too, and it just it just was a thing that was there when we was living over there. So
and how was like your what was like your house like what was like your upbringing like? Because you grew up with 4 brothers, right?
Four boys, 1 girl. So upbringing was cool. I mean, not rich, not poor. Everyone played sports. Sports was was everything. Is everything in our family pretty much.
I mean, you guys are all athletes, right?
From top to bottom, it's basketball, football, track, and from 5 or 6, we all just started with football, and then we kind of just transitioned to other little things. But it was really sports. Grandpa's a pastor, so we had that in our life as well with the church. So it all kind of like wrapped up in one. But just from what I can remember, it's just been sports, school, always out doing stuff, never at home, never in trouble pretty much, or never wanted to be in trouble. But just with my brothers, I always had friends, with them being around. And then with our little sister, she kind of had that protective, kind of bodyguard-ish feel from us. So and we're all, just to give a background, we're all 15 months apart. So I'm the second oldest, and I'm 32. My older brother's 31, or 33, sorry. Then we got 31 and 30.
So you guys are all really, really close.
So in high school, it was a senior, junior, sophomore, freshman.
Damn, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And then so, in college, me and TJ and Juwan went to the same school. So it's we're all kind of close. So that kind of helped us out a lot growing up as well. So, just kind of like that.
And what's that, like, growing up with brothers, what's that relationship like? Like, was it a competitive household? Was it like, what was that?
It's the best way to describe it is competitive.
Yeah,
it's like we had sports and we were on the same team, obviously, but we would compete as far as board games. We played video games. It's just a bunch of boys being boys. We hardly ever fought, which is kind of weird. Like, we never got into, I won't say never, but we didn't get in a lot of physical altercations a lot. We had each other's back majority of the time, so it's just competitive. Like, it would get to a point where we get to that spot, a lot of trash talk, but it never got far. So it's always love, always just a bunch of boys being boys, but add like that blood love to it type feel, and it just was like, all right, we know at the end of the day we all got each other's back, but when we doing stuff, or it's you versus me, it's him versus him, but at the end of the day, it's all good. So
that's dope. I don't think there's not much that can like that's really like a brother's relationship, and the fact that you guys got to go to college together too, and like just experience like a totally different way of life in another place. I bet it helped a lot having them out there, huh? Yeah, because TJ was there before I was, so when I took my visit out there, that kind of was the deciding factor for me. But having him there, it made it easier. And then that feeling that I had with TJ, Juwan had that feeling with both of us there. So it made it easier. Obviously, people knew TJ, so my transition from high school to college was easy. I didn't have to make friends by myself when I got there. So it was cool. Like, always, me and TJ are the closest, so always having him pretty much
majority of my adult life, pretty much. What made it easier for me to kind of transition and do that type of thing. So
that's good. And what would you say, in your opinion, or from what you can see, like how did sports help you growing up, and what do you think is an advantage to like just like being in sports or just being in really just in anything that you kind of are working towards something or have a goal in mind? Like,
sports for me was like, sports for me, I tell everyone all the time, it was my first love. It was something that I could always go to and it loved me back.
Mm-hmm.
So playing sports, it helped me become confident. We were pretty good, so that helped out a lot, but gave me confidence, able to help me become a leader in some sense, not having to always be the rah-rah guy, just kind of lead by example. I learned how to do that by playing sports. People always looked at me to lead them and make a play or do whatever, so I had to kind of grow into that when I was growing up. Just like the camaraderie of it, being able to meet different people, show different people type of things. But all my friends that I have now are from sports.
Mm-hmm.
Besides my brothers, I got like 3 or 4 close friends, but they all played football with me, either high school or college. So having that, I was able to kind of maneuver a little bit easier. You know, in high school, when you're the jock guy, people kind of gravitate towards you. So that made it makes life easier for you. Good, bad, or indifferent. If you're a good player, bad player, whatever. But just being in that team atmosphere makes going out and doing your other things that come with life. It just makes it easier. I'm able to talk to people. I'm a shy, quiet guy, but I'm able to with football and coaching and taking that type of stuff from different people, I'm able to like express myself a little bit more.
Yeah.
It just kind of helped me come out my shell. On the field, I could be somebody else for 2 or 3 hours. I was the total opposite of what I am off the field. I'm loud. I'm confident, cocky. I kind of have. I'm like right at that line. I teeter a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm able to do that for those 3 hours, and then once I got off the field, I can just go back to being myself. So football kind of helped me grow that confidence where I could be another person for 3 hours. I could just be rah, this guy. I'm talking trash to the coach. I'm doing it all in 3 hours, but I knew when it was done, I can just go back to being me. So sports kind of helped me just kind of have a balance of just life of being able to be respectful, have that type of feel to yourself, but also I could speak my mind and let you know that I'm better than you. I think this, I think that. So sports is, if you don't have to be good at it, I tell everyone all the time, pick a sport and just play for 4 years. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the worst. Just be a part of a organization for 4 years, and then just see how your life will be when it's all done. High school, college, whatever you're going to do, be a part of something for a long period of time, and it'll open up a lot of different doors for you.
I think, like you said, it definitely teaches you, and it just teaches you a lot of different things. I think it's the main thing I got from it was really it just built like a framework and like just like foundation of, I guess, discipline, because like when I left sports, it was kind of like you have so much other time, and like you kind of just you really feel the need to kind of do something, because like with sports you're just always, you have a routine. And so like I felt like when I left finally playing, like I really needed a routine or just something to do, because I was like, I'm just not used to just being, like I'm just.
I felt the same way. And after college, right, when I was going for like the league and stuff, and it took me 4 or 5 years to even get a shot, but I was so locked in on the routine, and then having to go to work and having to find a routine was so hard for me. But what it did though is the work ethic part of it. Like even now, I played with the Arizona Rattlers IFL team, and with professional football, you can get cut day to day. I took someone's spot, came in, took their spot, but then when you're there, and you never saw them again. Never. It's just we call them the Grim Reaper. Anyone who's played professional sports, the guy who comes when they say we need you to bring your playbook, the Grim Reaper comes. Once you get your playbook, that's it.
Damn.
We call them the Grim Reapers. So when they would come in and they would grab a guy, hey, I need you to bring your playbook. It's like, he just got here yesterday and they're taking your spot. So when you have that feeling of it could be gone in a second, it makes you work harder. So now with work outside of football, I have that same feeling. Like I'm doing something. I used to work at Dairy Queen. I used to want to be the best fry cook in the back because I just felt like someone was going to take my job, you know? So
that Grim Reaper was coming to take your shit.
And it gave me that feeling like I just need to be the best at all times. I can't really take any breaks. I got to try my best at all times. So that's the biggest part from my experience that I took from just sports in general is this: no matter what, you got to be the best. If it's the trash man to the CEO, if you're doing it, you got to be doing it. You know, so just having that feeling of at any moment some guy can just come and take your spot. It's just like, okay, no matter what I do in life, I gotta be the best. So
yeah, hell yeah, for sure. So you played in high school, and then what was your mindset like? For example, if you can remember, like senior year, like did you have a few different offers, or like what were you looking ahead to when you were?
Yeah, so I was a dumbass in high school. I was just for example, the Booby Miles guy where I just didn't work out. I had people doing my homework, all that bullshit. But my plan was to go D1. That was my goal. I had letters coming in for track and football, but I didn't have the grades. So it was JUCO, and then a couple of D2s was looking at me. Western New Mexico was one. And the big reason why I chose that was because my brother was there. So I had a chance to go JUCO. I only had to do a semester there, and I could have went D1, but my goal was to always be at a university. When I got out of high school, I wanted to leave the nest. I wanted to go experience life after high school. So I didn't want to really be in California anymore. So ultimate goal was to go to university, D1. But
and you said you were like in high school. Would you say? Because from my experience, at least playing sports, there's some people that like are naturally like, for example, I played basketball. They don't even have to like be in the gym that much, but they're just naturally like, they're just hoopers. Like they're good and like they still work, but like there's definitely other people that are outworking them. But for whatever reason, they can show up and they just like, they're just nice. It's just natural. Or would you say you were kind of like that? Or did you always like, were you always putting work on in the field and then just classroom, you're just kind of like...
So I was naturally gifted at football. I will say that. I was naturally fast. I can just play ball. But it wasn't... I never could just go and just walk on the field. That was never me. I did my football stuff, just not classroom stuff. Weight room, I didn't really care about it because I knew I was faster or whatever. But as far as field stuff, I did my extra like receiver and whatever, did all that stuff, but because classroom was where I was bullshitting at. I was I don't regret it because it taught me some stuff, but if I just did a little bit more, I would have been all right. But it was the classroom part
for sure. And I mean that does happen to. I mean, it's a lot. It happens a lot, you know. So you end up committing to Western, right? And did you end up playing like your freshman year?
Yeah. So that's what kind of was talked about when I was getting recruited. So that was a goal of mine as well. Was I wanted to play right away. Didn't want a red shirt. So didn't red shirt, and then after game 5, I took a senior spot. They put me in, and then ever since that 5th game, my freshman year, always started for the next 3.5 years at Western. So
and that's crazy because I didn't play in college, but I have a lot of friends that played football in college, and like that's pretty almost rare. Like you don't like even Division II, like just coming in and taking a senior spot and like starting your freshman year, like that's a hard thing to do. So what would you say, like people who maybe don't play college sports, like what's something that not many people would or know about?
I think I will say is from D1 down to NAIA, everyone is good. I think there's a misconception that if you don't go D1, you're not as good as a D1 guy. But my first ever meeting, we walked in, they had us in the locker room, all the freshmen. And then they had us go around the room and everyone said their accolades, right? There were 70 guys in the room. 65 said first team all league, blah, 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 like just going through the whole thing. And at that moment, I was like, okay, everybody is good. No matter where I'm at, everyone is good. I think when you come in from high school and you're the best guy, you just think, all right, I'm going to walk in and do whatever. But when I heard that, I was like, oh, shoot, okay. Well, then I got to step it up just a little bit. I got to step it up a little bit. So I think a misconception is everyone thinks that, okay, I got to go D1. If I don't go D1, I failed. But I'm telling you, we played D1 schools or D1 AA schools, and the only thing that we lacked was size. Mm-hmm. Everything else we matched up with. But just the size part of it, whatever. But as far as sports in college, it's everyone is good. Everybody from the first string guy to the fourth string, someone was good on they were good and they were their best player in high school. So that's one thing that kind of opened my eyes when I first got there. It's like, okay, I can't take this lightly at all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from my understanding too, is like you said, a lot of the dudes on your squad are like, they have the skill to be able to play D1, but a lot of it is either like the size or like the grades.
Yep.
And yeah, but like a lot of them just go to develop, right, and maybe get bigger, get like slightly more, like just a little bit more explosive, and like, or fix their grades and they can move, like they can jump right up, right. But like you said, like I don't think people like just the ability to play a college sport is like the percentages of that are actually very low. Like people don't understand that.
And people don't understand, like you said, people don't understand that part is not everyone gets to go to college. To play sports in college, I'll say that. Not everyone gets to play. So if you do get a scholarship from somewhere, that's a feat in itself, you know? So you always, when you're growing up, you always think, okay, I'm just going to apply here and I'm going to go get a scholarship here and do whatever. But when you come to find out, okay, this college only has 40 scholarships and then they gave you one. So that's kind of something that you kind of hold dear to your heart when you get there. It's like, okay, they chose me out of all the high schools in the United States, all the players that play high school ball. I'm one of the 40 guys that they decided to bring here. So it kind of humbles you a little bit. But if you got something to you, it kind of brings another like level out of you. It's like, okay, now I'm here now with the 40 of the best freshman guys that they think can play here. So now let me show you why you think I'm one of the 40 and why I think I'm one of the 40 that should be here. So,
and when you get there, like, just in all honesty, like, is there what number of guys or percentage guys are actually like really like working, like really putting in work, or like they're because like I know there's people that just go to college and they're kind of just doing like their bare minimum.
There is. So if we got, I want to say 75% of the guys on any team, I've seen it for the basketball team, football team, any team in college, about 75% are actually there and want to be there. Mm-hmm. There's another 25% that are just there, and then those are the ones that kind of drop off. So my freshman class was 70. About time football started, we only had 40 guys still there.
Damn,
from summer.
Oh shit.
So it's about, and then out of the 40 freshmen, only about 15 of those guys finished all 4 years at Western.
Damn,
so it's a learning experience, and especially if you don't have, like, I had my brother there. Obviously I had my parents who brought me up in a way, but not having a support system while you're there through that tough time of kind of you kind of become your own man at that point, you know. So a big adjustment for me was with football, you got to do your own laundry, you got to wake yourself up. Like, there's things that you don't think about when you're like, I just want to leave, and then you get there and it's like, damn, I gotta put the quarters in the darn wash, you know. I gotta do the dryer, I gotta make sure my clothes is done, I gotta wake myself up, I gotta iron my clothes. It's like stuff that you took for granted, oh dang, I gotta step up. So besides being there and playing your sport, now the outside things you got to kind of worry about too. So that takes a toll on people. And then obviously it's just as you're going. It's harder. High school, you can kind of coast through, but college, it turns into a job, I want to say, kind of. So
Yeah, because that's literally, besides class, which is a lot of time, like you literally are just doing like from the morning to like, what was your routine like?
dude,
Like
I was done with classes at 2:00 in the college. So, and it wasn't like I was in class from 8 to 2. It's on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, it was a 50-minute block, and I had 4 classes. And then Tuesday, Thursday, it was an hour 15 block, but only had 2 or 3 classes.
Yeah.
So,
but you have like, for example, like with football, do you have morning meetings or you have workouts or like, so what's that?
Yeah.
Like?
So with summer, when there's no school, it's all football. So 6:00 to 8:00 at night, it's nothing but football. You have meetings in the morning, you got lifting, then you got practice number 1, and then you got some more meetings, and then you got practice number 2. Then you got the rest of the night, you got more meetings, right? And then you go to bed at 11, then you got to wake right back up at 5. So that was the adjustment. And then during season, it kind of slows down a little bit. You got class during the day, lifting during the day, whatever, and then you got practice during the day, and then some meetings after that. But it kind of slowed down during school. But summer is where you that's that adjustment period. It's like, all right, first day, all right, it's cool. Second day, all right, I got it. Third day, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, okay. It's 5:00 every day. It takes a toll, but yeah, that schedule in the summer is where you kind of learn, like, okay, this is a job. The coach is getting paid to win games, so he's taking it serious, and it's like, okay, I gotta take it just as serious as he is. So
For sure. And like the relationship with your teammates, is it? Because I know a lot of people, they get to college and they realize, like, well, I don't know, maybe it's more at a JUCO, because I have a homie that went JUCO, and he was saying how, like, really everybody's just kind of, not always, but like a lot of people are there for themselves, and like they're really just trying to keep their spot, and like they don't care. It's very cutthroat when it comes to like even your own team.
Yeah, and like I speak to maybe 5 or 6 guys from my football team at Western, so. It's you have a clique, obviously. You have your guys that you click with, and then I can kind of agree. I think at a university is a little bit different because you commit for 4 years, so you gotta kind of get to know the guys that are there. So obviously everyone has their groups, everyone does whatever, and but at least with our group, the receiver group, we always try to help each other.
That's good.
I think when you start to play, you kind of already know who's the guy. So you that kind of gets thrown out the window where everyone's trying to compete with each other. It's like, okay, how can we all be really, really good? So if someone goes down or something happens to someone can just step right in and nothing changes. So I try to always help the freshman guys who came in, my young guys. I tried to help them as much as I can, and even the juniors and seniors who I came in with, I used to want to help them as much as I could too. But there is a selfish side to it where I think with team sports, it kind of gets misconstrued where if the team has to be really good, right? But let's say individually, everybody is just really, really good. The team automatically becomes really, really good. So you have to kind of have that line where, yeah, everyone come and work out with me. But then it's like, all right, today I'm by myself. There's some things that I don't want to show y'all because I just need them to myself. But but then there's that fine line where everyone come in, let's build some camaraderie. But then there's like, nah, not today. I gotta do this on my own. So
for sure. And when you like approach a game, did you ever feel any did you feel the expectations or pressure to like perform, or like and how'd you deal with that if you did?
Yeah, I did. I never got nervous because I over prepared for games. With film, I watch film all the time. Like I said, I did extra stuff on the side to where I just wanted to be the best. But so on the field, I wasn't nervous about my play. But when you love something like that and it loves you back, you kind of just want to give it your all. So every time I played, I just never wanted to be bad. You know, I made mistakes, but I just never wanted to come off as I just didn't care. So before the games, I wasn't the hype guy. I listened to slow jams for the games. Like I'm like Trey songs. I'm like that vibe before the game. So that stuff, I'm mellow. It just was one of those where I knew I was going to play well, but in the back of my mind, I didn't want to play bad because people looking up to you. people do put that expectation like Marquis, you're supposed to be. This is after my freshman year. Coaches were already like, you're the guy. Mm-hmm. So I need you to step up. So at 18, 19, I'm like, I got to lead a group of guys. And I myself, I have to be the guy.
You got to lead 23, 24-year-olds, 25-year-olds.
Yeah, it's like those guys who come in from D1s who are 23, 24, 25. They're coming up to me saying, all right, what we got to do? Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, now I'm, like I said, 18, 19, trying to tell a 25-year-old what to do or lead the group. So having that thrown on you is like, okay, how do I maneuver this without coming off away and being myself? I still got to be a leader and teach you, but how can I do it in the way that I know how to do that? I'm the jokester. I'm the smiley. I'm that type of guy. I'm not the rah yell. I can't do that. So I wanted to kind of bring that to them, but also let them know that this is serious. Mm-hmm. Like there's a time for play, and then there's a time for just cutthroat work, which is how we're going to be. So I tried to bring that. So in the game, it just kind of showed that I never was, like I said, I'm not the pump up guy, do whatever, but in the game, you just knew, okay, I know Keith is ready. Yeah, Keith is ready. So I always wanted to come with that feeling, where anytime I stepped on, I felt however I felt, but everyone surrounding me, the crowd, the fans, whatever, they just knew when they came to the game, they were going to get something from me. Yeah, so I wanted them to leave like, okay, if anyone going to give me something, 14 going to give me something. So I wanted that feeling for everybody.
And was that always there, like that needing to like over prepare, just be really just like where does that come from, you think?
I don't know. People ask me this all the time, and I don't know. It started after my freshman year of college. I never had that in high school. And I think because high school came so easy, I was just out there. But after my freshman year, I don't know what clicked, but something clicked in me. Freshman going to sophomore that summer, something clicked to where I was like, I gotta do more. Like my athletic ability isn't going to take me as far as I want to go. I always knew I wanted to go to the league. So after my freshman year, I knew coming from a D2, I had to be the best. Like I couldn't just be in the middle of the pack. I had to show that I was better than where I was at. So sophomore year, on the field, I could run, I could jump, I can do all that stuff. But how can I create an edge for myself every play? And then people started introducing me to film. I was watching film just like how anyone else watches. Okay, this guy is doing that guy's doing that. Okay, good. But then I learned from just watching other receivers in the league how they talked about film is watching the nuances of the game. Okay, for example, when the cornerback is in man, his back foot is back 2 yards, like little stuff like that, and you don't get that until you kind of start to ask about it, and then people start to tell you. And then me, I at the receiver position, it wasn't until my junior year when I got a coach that kind of taught me how to be a receiver. Everything I ever did, I learned on my own. I did my drills by myself. I watched film by myself. So I was self-taught, and I just, like that sophomore year, I just knew, okay, if I want to make it to where my idols is at, I got to be top notch. Yeah. And I went from 400 yards my freshman year to 700 yards my sophomore year to over 1,200 yards my junior year, and then over 1,200 yards my senior year. So damn. I knew it was working. You just have to kind of, if someone has to, I didn't have anyone to bring it out of me besides my family, but they weren't there. So I knew I had to just kind of figure it out.
When did you realize that you had what it took to like play pro?
When my first agent called me my senior year.
So you didn't even think like before that?
No, I knew you know that you're good, but when you're watching like the NFL, all that stuff, those guys just look really good when you're watching them. And I knew the competition I was playing against wasn't considered the best. So you kind of really don't know until someone else tells you, so my coaches would tell me, obviously they said, if you do what you're supposed to do, I think you can make it to the league. But my first agent called me during my senior year. I didn't send anything out. I didn't know how he knew about me, but he knew about me. So at that moment when I got that call,
And what's that call like? Like what are they saying to you? Like,
he would. So it's I don't know if you know Steve Smith.
yeah,
It was his agent.
Oh shit, yeah.
So he called me. He goes, "Hey, my name is blah blah blah. I'm with this. We can't really discuss anything right now, but I just want to let you know. I want to represent you and all that kind of good stuff, right?" And funny thing is, I'm walking to lunch. I think I'm walking to lunch. I get this random number, and I don't ever answer those calls, but I just answered it, and he was on the phone, and then once I hung up, it felt like my whole world like stopped at that moment, and right there I was like, okay, I gotta, okay, I can go, I can go. So call my mom, did all that stuff, but when he called me, I was like, okay, if he thinks that I'm good enough and he's Steve Smith's guy, then I gotta make sure I prove him right, and I keep doing.
So it made you even want to go harder.
It made me like, it just. As soon as he called me, I wanted to go run. I wanted to go do something on the field. As soon as he called me, it was like that feeling where it was like, okay, now how can I get better? And so it just that at that point, like I said, at that point, it was just okay. If he can see it, then maybe more people are seeing the same thing that he's seeing.
Yeah. That thing about like when you first get that first like, it wasn't your first taste of success, but like it was definitely one of the first breakthroughs you've had. I mean, even just one phone call, right? And once that happens, it's like that like just rush of like just motivation, or it, like you said, it just makes you want to even go harder, because either you don't want to let the opportunity, I guess, like just fizzle out or go to waste. And it's crazy because like you said, you knew that you were good enough, and like you've had the confidence, but I mean, sometimes it really just does take someone to like, you need that kind of like, all right, reassurance that okay, I can really do this shit. Like, and I think what sucks is like, I think a lot of people who actually have what it takes sometimes don't get that from other people, and like I think sometimes we need that to kind of just keep on going, you know?
Yeah, you want to have the confidence in yourself, obviously, but you don't want it to be borderline cocky, like delusional. So I think everyone should go into something thinking they're the best, but you may not be the best, but you need to have that mindset. But when someone else a stranger, someone else who's just kind of in the field, but not for you, and they can see it and they can tell you, okay, I've been around the block, so I know you got it. And then as you're going through the process, when I was going through the process of trying to make it to the league, I kept getting the same answer from everybody. Marquis is this, Marquis can do this, Marquis. Like, so once you keep hearing it, it's like, okay, whatever I'm feeling I'm feeling the right thing. So it makes you want to, okay, I can do it. I can do it. So just having that outside person who doesn't know me from a can of paint, whatever, can just say, hey, you got something to you. So once he called me and said that, okay, so if you see it, I wonder who else can see it.
Did you ever want to prove anything to anybody, or was it always just more of like doing things for yourself and like just achieving, or was there a part of you that wanted to prove maybe somebody wrong, or like just certain people that kind of doubted you or kind of like slept on you? Like, did you ever have that kind of thing with you?
I have the thing, I'm an insecure, confident dude. So myself, I never want to prove anything. I know I can do it, right? But when people say whatever they say about me, I always want to prove someone either right or wrong. It's usually I want to prove the person right who's always had my back. But I've had a couple of people say I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. So I always had this kind of chip on my shoulder, like I'm either too small, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. And so when they were saying those things, I just knew I had to be tough. I had to show that I had this to me, I had that to me. So the next time they see me, I didn't bring anything up, but you know.
Yeah,
So I always wanted to have that on somebody. Like when they see me the next time, whatever they said, you gotta see me.
It doesn't have to be said.
No, we don't gotta talk about it. But now you see me, you see what I did. So let's just leave it at let's leave it at that. So yeah, myself, I know what I got. But when someone says I can't do it, then I gotta go do it. I have to. No matter what, I gotta get it done. So that's always been like that's my motivation. Is I always use people's good, bad, whatever. I always kind of use that to fuel whatever I got going on. Yeah.
Sometimes I think that has like a bad. People can kind of look at that as a negative thing, but I think for some of the most successful people, I think everybody has that little like. Obviously, you don't want that to drive you forever, but I think it's definitely something that could get you going for sure, especially when you first, when you're starting out, or just even if you just need that little extra to just kind of get you over.
Yeah.
Whenever you're kind of down, or like you just need to remind yourself.
Yeah, it's like when you start to get complacent, it's like, dang, remember when that dude said that? It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. All right. Yeah, hold on, Keys, get back. Remember when he said you too small? It's like, I used to get hit and all that. Oh man, you too small. I used to just have to pop right back up, show them that I'm tough. I played with partially torn ACL. I got my tooth knocked out, went back and played the next week, like stuff like that, where it's like, if I didn't play, they were right. He's too small. He's not tough. It's like, all right, if I am too small, I got to be tough, So that's just an example of things that people take jabs at me. This, okay, well then let me show you that I'm not. So you end up. So you get to your senior year, and then it's the end of the senior year. So what was that whole process like of trying to finally get to the league? It was fun. It was, I don't like to use this word, but it was depressing. It's stressful when you know that you're good enough and then it doesn't happen the way you want it to. It takes a toll on you. So after my senior year, I do my workouts. I do my pro days, had good pro days. After my first pro day, I had the Patriots and Chargers come up to me.
So what's a pro day like?
So a pro day is basically just a workout with people watching. So we did.
And is there other receivers there?
Yeah, so it's other receivers, it's other linemen. It's a select group of guys that get to go. So usually a school has a pro day, and then they bring their top guys, their top senior guys there. Whoever wants to get a look, they'll go. So my school didn't have one, so I went to USD's pro day. They had their guys there, and then I was there with a couple of my guys. So, you do bench and 40s and all that stuff. So I knew the workout portion wasn't my thing. But as soon as I got to the field is when I turned head. So every time I walked into a gym, people thought I was 17, 18, 16. That was high schooler, bro. But as soon as we started doing 40s and running routes, the whole mood changed. Yeah. So I remember that first time I did my pro day, I didn't bench and whatever. And then we got out and I did my first 40. I ran a 4.3.
Damn.
And then I had some people there. As soon as I ran past the coaches, they all looked back. Like, oh shit. Like, okay. So so I knew that was my thing. So pro days went well. The day of the draft, agent calls me and goes, "You should be getting a call." So I knew I was going to be undrafted. So I waited till all the rounds were done. Me and my mom and everyone's waiting. First day goes by, I don't get the call. And then the second day goes by, I don't get the call. And then at that moment, you kind of got a feeling it's probably not going to happen, but you have a little bit of hope. And then obviously it didn't happen. So at that point,
so he said you were going to go undrafted before, but like there's still a chance that somebody could pick you up, and you have no idea. Like, so you're definitely on the radar, right? For sure,
you're on the radar for sure. But then there's a bunch of people on the radar. And then there's just different factors as far as your school and all that type of stuff. So when he called me and he kind of reassured me that I was going to get the call, I was like, okay, I'll be somewhere. Mm-hmm. Either it's going to be undrafted, but I'll be somewhere. And then when you don't get it, it's kind of like, okay, what happened? But then in that business, you'll never know why you never got the call. It's just they just don't call you. They don't give you a courtesy call. They don't, oh man, we're going to go different. You don't get any of that. It's just cold turkey. They just don't call you. So after that, you kind of got to, at that point, I'm like, now I go back to, dang, am I good enough?
Yeah. Because the fact that like they don't, like you don't know a reason why, I think that would eat me alive, bro. It'd be like, I just need to know like some closure on this shit. Cause like,
tell me why you didn't so I can work on it, you know? But you don't get that. So you start, this is where the depression kind of comes in where you, dang, am I good enough? So I graduated in 2012. I didn't get my first shot until 2017. So for 5 years, you got to choose if it's for you or it's not. So for 5 years straight, working out every day, twice a day. And then I'm doing different tryouts that cost $100 each. So for 5 years,
NFL tryouts,
NFL, Canadian Football League, IFL, I'm doing everything. So you guys do the math, $100 a tryout for 5 years straight.
Yeah.
So my parents helped me out a lot. Obviously, I wasn't working at the time, so I was focused on football. But you kind of have to have that mental toughness at that point where I didn't have anything. I was literally just working out just to kind of work out, but I knew I had to be in shape for something. So 2017, I get invited to minicamp for CFL. That was my first shot. I didn't get past minicamp. So then you go back to say, dang, am I good enough?
Yeah. But those 5 years is a long ass time. So like, what is that like? What's your mindset like? Is it hard to get up like for the workouts? Like, what are you going through at that point? Like mentally, like
it's like you're going through. It's just the thing you're going through is I don't even know if I should be doing this now. I should be. And then you start when people are starting to do their own thing at that moment, your friends are starting to get jobs and doing that type of stuff. And you're just kind of sitting on your mom's couch, working out in the morning and doing whatever. You start to feel like everyone's passing you by. And all you're doing is just getting up to go work out, So every time I would get up, I would have to find that motivation. And that's where when people are telling me I'm not this, I'm not that, I would have to at that point.
Did you notice a lot of people like kind of disappear when you're kind of going through that? Like,
yeah, like my main people didn't obviously. But yeah, you can kind of feel the shift. Like,
yeah.
Cause sports is when you're playing sports and you played it since you were 8.
And you're good.
Yeah, you're good. Like people gravitate towards you because of that. Like
sure.
I'm not naive to that fact. So when it did happen, you kind of feel people kind of just push away from you. Not like they're trying to be rude or mean to me or whatever, but you just feel it.
Yeah.
And then as I'm there, I have my family and stuff, but then you feel alone. Like, okay, I will go work out for an hour. I will feel like I'm in my space. But when that hour's up, when I go back home, now I'm not in that space. So
you kind of got to sit with those uncertainties and those doubts you have, right?
Yep. And then, like I said, life is still going. So football's on. So now it took me a while, but I couldn't watch football for a long time. I couldn't watch a game. I didn't want to watch a game. Every time I would watch, and I felt like shit saying it, but I'm like, dude, I'm better than this dude. Why am I like sitting on the couch? So you start to like do that thing, and that was never me where I would hate on someone else. How did this guy get it and not me? So once I started feeling that, I knew I had to change something.
And that's crazy that you that even though you do feel it, you notice it's like, all right, that's not me. Like I can't. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah,
so like, yeah, that thing is big, right? Like
it like I said, it just felt so bad at the moment. I was pulling away from everyone. Frankie at the time, she was with me through the whole process. My family, I was more closed in at that moment in my life. Was in the room majority of the time. I didn't go out much. I felt ashamed, So people, I don't think they were counting on me to make it, so they can live off me or whatever. But that was everything that we talked about was Keith is going to the league. I'm going to the league. So when it didn't happen, and football is and it was my first love. My love is just like, damn, what did I do to deserve this?
Yeah. Well, you end up you get a call from the Patriots at one point, right?
No, so I get a call from Saskatchewan Rough Riders
yeah.
for the CFL. Went to a tryout, and then they called me 2 days later and invited me to minicamp.
Mm-hmm.
So then you start to get up for that. You start to feel it a little bit more. And then I didn't make it past minicamp. I got cut. And then now I'm back at the house again.
Yeah.
So you feel it's so up and down, and it's hard to stay confident in yourself in that moment, because everything that you work for is gone. I wanted to make it to the league. I knew I could. And when I didn't make it,
because I mean, you were working out with those guys, like you were kind of.
I was keeping up with everyone,
yeah.
And the reassurance and the all that stuff that was going on. It's like I'm not there, so why? And then I'm Christian. I believe in God. And then at that moment, you're like, dang God, what did I do? I thought that if I did the right things, if I did everything I was supposed to do, you're going to have my back. It's like, dang, he didn't have my back. So even in that period, I kind of fell back from my faith in religion. At that point, I just felt like I was abandoned by the outside forces that be. I did all I could, so I just needed a little bit more help, and I felt like I didn't get it, and I felt like I deserved it at that moment. So it kind of just pushed me back from all that stuff. So I didn't go to church really, not as much as I usually did. I just kind of sheltered myself and pushed myself and closed everything in. And then, like I said, I got a shot, and then I lost it again. So it's like kind of like that like a teeter totter where I'm up and I'm down. I'm up and I'm down. And then I get another call from the IFL. So I get to go to South Dakota, my first team. I was there for a little bit. Then I got cut from there. So it's like,
but is it like an unexpected thing? It's
yeah,
like,
I was at that moment after the CFL. I was 75% kind of done. I started training and working, so I wasn't invested all that into working out and all that stuff. So, and then all of a sudden I get this call from IFL guy. Hey, we want you. We like you. We saw your film. Blah blah blah. Boom, sent me a contract right on the spot. So then I'm back in the game, you know. So I'm locked in on that, and then I get cut again. So I have that feeling where, okay, now I'm done, right? So I come back home. A day later, Arizona Rattlers call me.
Damn.
So it like happened quick.
Yeah.
So I fly out there, and then I play. I made the team, and then I was playing for a little bit. But at that point in my life, I just had my daughter, and my body just wasn't responding the way it used to. So it was it was the hardest decision I had to make in that moment, where I was just like, I'm done. I finally got there where I was solidified on the team. I was starting and playing on a professional football team. And then I just went home back to my apartment and was like, I can't do this. And that was the hardest decision I ever had to make in my life. Was I finally made it, and now I can't even do it. You know, yeah. I can't like, I had my daughter. I didn't want to be away from her. My body wasn't responding the way it was supposed to, and now I'm in a place mentally where it's just like, where are you going from here? You know, like now you have to choose between this and that at that moment. So it just was like, dang it, I gotta let it go. I gotta let it go. So
yeah, and I mean that's crazy because like up to literally your entire life, bro, it's like that's what you do, that's what you know, and that's who you are. And then from one day to the next, it's like, that's not what I do anymore. Yeah. Like, what do I? Yeah, it's an identity crisis, bro. Like,
it is. And like I said, football was. I knew at the end of the day that I could always run back to football. I had a football when I was 4, a little Nerf. That was my thing. So when I didn't have it, or I had to step away from it, it hurt. It hurt a lot. So just not having that that comfort zone where I knew at 3:00 from 3 to 6, I knew I had football. From on Saturdays from 12 to 4, I knew I had it. You know, so not having that was an adjustment period. Like when I had my daughter, who that love I had for football was the same love I had when she was born, and with my son as well. But even with that, it's kind of like they're there, but dang, I wish I had that thing for myself, you know? So, having to choose between that and then not having it and having to adjust and having to do the dad thing at that moment, and not be able to, have my little thing that I had. I went back to that depression stage. Even having my daughter, I just felt like I was alone. And in that moment, like I said, I had Frankie there as well, my family, but I just felt like I just didn't have anything. I had to, it felt like I was kind of throwing away football. Like I was just throwing it to the wayside. And it didn't sit well with me for 2023, at least 4 or 5 years, where I was kind of like up and down. I was doing other things, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And so that's partly why I moved out here, because I wanted to be closer to Sophia, Brody, and Frankie. I needed to have that in order for me to get through the day.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to be around people, because if I wasn't, then I'm in my room thinking about football.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, I don't know. It was this crazy thing for me, because when you're in it, it's just like, okay, I got it, I'm in it. But when you're not, it's just like, and it's something that you can't just go get. I just couldn't go get football. So it's just like, man, like, did I make the right decision? Like, do I need to go back? Do I need to try it again?
Yeah.
So not having it, and then just wanting to be around my family, and then trying to adjust to being a working guy was a big adjustment for me as well. Just having to bring the football mentality, but it's not the same arena. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't go into work and say I'm the fucking best. like yeah. This is not the playing field. I can't go to my boss and be like, hey, this dude can't fuck with me. I can't,
Yeah.
And so having to kind of adjust and and do that, it's just like, yo, like, how do I adjust to this environment and be myself, right? But I can't be the football guy, but I can be the football guy.
Mm-hmm.
So having to find that line where, all right, I can still be the football guy, but how do I translate it and transform it into workforce type stuff and family man stuff?
Yeah. So you'd definitely say it took you a while to make that shift away from.
I want to say, bro, I'm probably still not okay with not playing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take a toll on me as much now. But I still have those thoughts in my head where I'll wake up and I'm just like, damn, I think I could have played at least 3-4 more years probably. I think I could have made it to a higher spot if I gave myself more time. I have those thoughts, but it doesn't affect me as much as it used to. I think I just started feeling like that a year ago, maybe a year ago, where I could wake up and not feel like, dang, I need to go play football.
Mm-hmm.
So just and like I said, I still deal with it, but having the family and doing that type of stuff, having them around, it helps a lot. But you always kind of in the back of my head, I'm like, I was just watching the game right now and just like, I could, man, I'm 32. I got some game in me left, but it's like, now it's like in a joking manner instead of it being so serious. I can joke about it. I can joke about it now.
And what is it? What would you say? I mean, obviously time is a big factor that kind of helped you. But is there any other thoughts or anything that you think about that has helped give you grace with that, and like just kind of, because at least from my perspective, like just from seeing you and seeing your journey, like first of all, it's even heartbreaking for me, bro, because like I understand, like I can't even, like I can imagine, but I also can't imagine what that is like, because you literally dedicate your whole life to this one thing. It's like, but at the same time, looking at your journey, it's like, do you feel like you really gave it your all in a lot of ways, like whether it was on the field or I feel like you did what you could, and like sometimes, like for whatever reason, like it could just be at that level, it's like there's just so many good guys, it's like, all right, luck of the draw at that point. So it's just like, but what is your mindset? What has helped give you grace as far as like just what you think about it?
The biggest thing I can say is my kids, because the love I have for football is the same love I have for the kids, and that they showed me. Like I said in the beginning, football, it just loved me for me, and it didn't say anything. It just let me be me. And with kids, it's kind of that same thing. I could yell at them and do whatever, and 2 minutes later, I'm getting a hug from my son. So it's that same love where that guy right there, Marquis, my dad, he can do no wrong. He can yell at me, he can do whatever, but at the end of the day, I know he loves me. So having them around, it helps out a lot. That feeling that I get from them, so I can adjust a little bit in that. I don't know if I didn't have them, if I would have that same the same mindset I have now. But like I said, just having them around makes it easier. I'm not going to work coming home, me and Frankie doing our thing, but I'm not just sitting there with it. Mm-hmm. I have 2 other little people that are dependent on me. So I don't really have time to sit there and soak and like, man, shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's like they need me. So if I am feeling depressed or if I am feeling away, get up. You got to get up. So having them kind of just I think you just have to. I don't know any other way to explain it. I just have to do it. There's no man, Sophia, I don't feel like going to work, so I'm just gonna stay at the house. Like, nah, I don't wanna go get you nothing to eat. So it's that feeling where I have to. I don't have another choice. So it kind of pushed me to find that grace, find that feeling of being okay with it, because like I said, I wake up, I got 2 little people. Hey, Dad, what we gonna eat?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Dad, can you give me a toy? So it's like I can't say no, Mom. No, Mama. I want to go play football.
Yeah.
like no, I'm gonna go work out for football. And then my daughter's so smart, she'll just straight up and say, "Well, you don't have a team to play football, Dad." So it's like, they kind of keep you grounded, and I just, like I said, I had to, and then it makes it easier with them around where, I just have to find that happy medium with it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Would you say you're still, you're very much on the journey of, because I think it's a never ending thing where I still feel like you can find a completely different route that you're able to be just as gifted as you were in football. It's just a matter of just finding that, because you put in so much work to one thing. I don't think because that one thing didn't pay off, that doesn't mean it's a waste. I think that translates to other things, whether you know it or not. I feel I think it's just a matter of time, bro. And just you still kind of being resilient, just keep on seeing what it is that you kind of feel like you have to offer, because I'm sure you coach too, right? Does that kind of give you, when you're coaching, does that kind of give you some of the same feelings?
Yeah,
too?
So coaching and training gives me that feeling. Like I said, I always want to help people, so being able to do it in sports, it helps me. I'm able to be around it still. I'm able to help people grow. I'm able to show them and give them some little tips and tricks that I didn't get to get. Mm-hmm. And that's that feeling I get, where I'm kind of fulfilled in that kind of sense. So training, helping kids, and kind of, when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. So with 5 of us, there's no way that I can get the extra training. It's expensive. It's 5 of us. We all can't do it. So now when I do train, I hardly ever like to charge, but when I do, it's something so light where I want everyone to be able to come and get what I didn't get, because I feel like that's my purpose now, is to be able to help anyone who wants to help, just to come in and I can just give them anything that I have, I'm gonna give to them. So having the facility out in California and doing that thing, I knew in that moment, okay, this is something that I want to do. I know I could coach. I want to train. I want to be able to help kids kind of reach their potential, because I didn't get it. I was self-taught. And I don't think it's because people didn't want to, whatever the circumstances was. But I want to be that stop where, okay, when someone gets to wherever they want to go, Coach Keith is one of the guys that I can remember where he helped me out a lot. Mm-hmm. I want that to be the story for myself when I'm gone and it's all said and done. I want it to be a Coach Keith or Keith. He always was there for this person, that person, that person, that person. So that's always kind of been where I've been at in my life, is I want to help as many people as I can. And I don't want to keep everything that I have, knowledge, whatever. I want to give it out to whoever I can. So having that fulfills me in a sense where even if I'm not doing it for myself, I can live vicariously through 150 kids that that I come across, 200 kids that I come across, where I see them on TV and it's like, for sure, I hoped I had a little bit into what's going on with them. So
a lot. I still think about, coaches that I still think about to this day, where I can look back and think that they were there for me when they would open up the gym for me on a random ass Sunday, just so I can go get better, and that's, I mean, I have them in my heart forever.
Yep.
So like, I think that's big. So would you say that's like your ultimate goal to
and I'm glad you touched on that. 'Cause that's like the important thing is, I think out of my whole playing career, I think I got like 3 or 4 coaches where I can look back and be like, I love them because they did so much for me. And I think you need those people, like outside of your family and your parents or whatever. You need to be able to leave the nest and go out and have a couple people, adults that you can run to and talk to and know, outside of my dad and mom, this person has my back. So that's what I want to be. I want to be the guy they call. Hey, can you open the gym? Yeah, I got you. I'll come over there in a little bit. I'll open the gym for you. Hey, can you come do this? Yeah, I'll come do it. Like I want to be that guy. And I knew after football, in order for me to be okay with not playing, I needed to be a part of it still. Coaching, whatever. I just need to be in there, so I could give my 2 cents. And I think I understand it a little bit more than someone else because of my experiences, the good and the bad. So I can give a kid that. I can let them know, okay, this is what you're supposed to do and this is what you're not supposed to do. In high school, I didn't work out. I got a scholarship, but I could have went somewhere maybe a little bit better. So this is what you shouldn't do. Don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. So I have about 4 or 5 coaches that I had in my life, but I want to be one of the 4 or 5 guys for somebody else where, okay, Coach Keys, I know I can call him. Sure, I want to be the guy where they out at the party. Hey, Coach Keys, can you come pick me up? I want to be that guy. Like, hey, call. Like, just let me know what's up. Let me know whatever you need. If I can do it, I'm gonna do it. I think that's. I know that's gonna fulfill me for the rest of my life. Is just being able to be called on by as many people as possible. Like, I can count on Keys. One of the biggest things that I pride myself in is being loyal. Is loyalty. Loyalty and understanding. So those are my 2 things where. If you're rocking with me, I'm rocking with you. And I'm a patient, understanding dude, and I want that to kind of be the feel for people who come across me. Like I want you to understand what I'm going through, but I want to be able to understand what you're going through and help you get through whatever you're going through. I'll push you in whatever direction I can, but I just want to be that guy for whoever.
For sure. I think just being able to pass down whatever knowledge you have and so many people, like especially young men nowadays, bro, like I feel like there's a real shortage of like good role models.
Yep.
Like legit, like obviously there's people like you see like there's people you see like playing like sport or like on TV and shit, but like for the most part I look around and like there's definitely a big problem with like a lot of people not having good role models around them. And I think that's big. Like that's kind of what I aspire to be too. At the same time, like even though I'm still a little bit younger, like I just see that there's, especially with like, I don't know, just men in general, like especially my age or younger, like some real problems, bro. Like people are really struggling with a lot of things. So I think, like you said, just being there for somebody.
It's so different now for y'all growing up. Like when we was growing up, you had to be outside. So you met people, so there's different experiences that you experience outside. Like now people growing up, it's everyone's inside, everyone's on social media. So you lose that where you can go outside and the OGs is outside and they may be seeing you doing something wrong. And then that one guy comes up to you and says, hey, young, you can't, can't be doing that. And then you take that and then they keep doing it. They keep trying to have your back and doing whatever. And so those are the people where you just kind of randomly meet sometimes, right? Obviously in football, you kind of meet those adults, but then there's people that you just kind of meet on your way. And you kind of attach yourself to them. So outside of like my dad, I got male people that I can look up to and talk to and whatever, and do that type of thing. So just being able to, I kind of, when I'm training, I get people off of that internet not being outside thing. I'm trying to give them, hey bro, like go do this, go be outside, go do that type of thing, because you get to meet people. Like it's cool to be on the internet, it's all fun, I get it, I'm on the internet too, I get it, but if you don't go outside, nothing on the internet is real. So you'll never feel like you got some real interaction on the internet, like from that.
Well, yeah, for sure. I think what I notice is like I think people like in around your generation, around your age group, you guys are on the internet, but you're not so much like, you're not fucking attached to it, and you're not. You can kind of separate yourself from it, and you kind of understand the boundaries. And I feel like a lot of like you're just not so heavily invested in it as much as like for us. I feel like that's literally our world. Like people, they attach so much self-worth and so much of their self-esteem and confidence and just everything just based on social media and the internet. And it's like, it's definitely taking a toll on a lot of people, bro.
Yeah, and it's like, you do that, right? Like I said, I tell the young dudes all the time, if you go outside, whatever you see on the internet is not real. Go outside, and all the people on the internet, the trolls, whatever. If you can just see them outside, I guarantee you it's different. It's just different. Yeah, it's a different feel when you're face to face with someone and you're having that interaction. It's just different. So like you know, the bullying on social media and all that type of stuff. It's like, turn your phone off and go outside and go talk to people. And the life is the talk is different. The feel is different. No one acts like that in real life. For sure. Nobody acts like that in real life.
See, I always think about like if social media, if like, and this could happen, like if for whatever reason, like the power grid shut off or like whatever the fuck, and like the servers shut down and like there was no fucking social media, like that would just be an imaginary world, and we'd be in reality, and we'd like a lot of the things that we worry about so much are like so important on social media. When you step out of that and you're in the real world, it's like literally what there's no followers, there's nothing, right? Like it's just it's the connections you have with like the people around you, and just really the relationships you've built. And it's insane to think about.
It's just, like I said, growing up, on the block, you knew all the kids, like the neighbor, you knew everybody. So when now you can go down the street, no one's outside.
Nobody.
It's summertime and no one's outside.
I barely know my neighbors.
Yeah,
bro.
it is so weird. It's like I said, I'm outside and we're in summer and stuff, and the sun's out, and you're going through at 9:00 and you go out. I go out to wash my car. No one's outside. It's like, damn, like what happened? Like why isn't anyone trying to enjoy? I can't even walk outside and say what's up to my neighbor because they're not outside. You know, so like no one knows you. Everyone's so to themselves, and it's just so like, man. So I like to bring that feeling when someone's around me. Is like, look, this is what outside feels like. You know, like if you're not on the internet and people are saying whatever, this is what real life is. Like I'm a joke. We're gonna do whatever. We're gonna have fun. I'm tough. We could do whatever. Like this is just what outside is. There's so many different aspects of just being outside and different people, you know. So I tell the young boys all the time when they come to me, like, we'll have, you know, I talk real with them, like high school stuff. Like, all right, what you doing tonight? It's Friday. What you doing? Nah, I'm just gonna be outside in the game. I'm like, bro, like it's Friday. The girls probably gonna be out. Like, what you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I talk to them like that. Like, dude, it's Friday night. You should not be on the game at 17 on Friday night, unless if you're making money, whatever. But you should not be inside on the internet on Friday night at 17. Go do something, bro. Yeah. And when I was growing up, our coach would have barbecue, so I want to be that guy. Like, hey, look, Saturday, everyone come over to the house. Team come over. We're gonna do whatever, have fun. Just to bring that feeling where, hey, look, this is what you're supposed to be doing at any age, is being with your friends.
Living in the real world.
In the real world, because when high school is over, if you go to college or not, that's when college is when the real world starts if you go. But working, once high school is over and you graduate, you have to live in the real world. Your boss doesn't care if you have 1,000 followers on the internet. All they care about is when you come in, you clock in, you do your job, and you go home. So if you're not learning that growing up, it's hard to be in that environment after that period. And I think that's where a lot of the young boys and young girls kind of fall short, is they're inside, they're doing their thing in high school, they're kind of sheltered, their mom and dad's there, but when it's time to kind of go out, they don't know what to do.
They don't know how to talk to anybody. They don't know how to approach a girl. They don't know how to approach a guy.
They don't know how to do nothing, bro. And I'm just like, even now, we go outside and I'll wave at someone and they just look at me. Yeah. I'm like,
All right.
Like, hi, like, what's up? Like, it's cool to say, it's cool to do that. And so, it's just like, man, you look and it's like, damn, like, it's just different. And with the mental health part is so prevalent now, I think because of that, it's like you don't get to experience all the different aspects of life, the good, the bad, the mad, the sad, the frustrated, the happy, the whatever. Like, you don't get to experience that, so you don't know how to embrace it or fight it when it happens. So I think a lot of that, when it comes in, when people are depressed, people start to feel away, they just don't know how to combat it. It's new to them, and so they don't know how to do it. But then the people that they talk to don't really know how to do it, and so now they're just there, So obviously, I got depressed when I was doing football, but I knew if I went and talked to someone or I just went outside, it wasn't real, I know I needed it, but I knew if I just did something, it wasn't as bad as I was making it out to be. So I think that feeling of just kind of like, being in a fight at a young age, it teaches you something. It's not, you don't want to fight people, but it teaches you something. If you have to be in that spot, it teaches you something. So being in arguments or joking with your friends or losing a girl, like all that stuff teaches you something. So if you don't feel it at any moment in your life, and when you get to 19, 20, 21, and that's when you start to feel it, you're kind of behind.
It's going to shake your,
it's going to shake you up. And then, like you said, a lot of these kids have the mental health and depression. They're getting it at 22, 23, 24, 25 because they just don't. Everything's so new, and then majority of them are by themselves usually, so they don't get to go and just run back to mom and dad, like, help me, So
yeah, well, that's kind of where I was at, bro. Like when I first went to college, like I had played basketball up to that point, and it's like I did have opportunities to play, but it was like a JUCO and then like some D3s. It was just like, for whatever reason, I was kind of, I don't know. I guess I just chose the academic route because I had some like academic scholarships and stuff, and I had really wanted to go to Arizona State, so I ended up just going like just kind of stopping basketball. But at the time, like, I just didn't realize, like, until I started feeling like fucking super anxious and depressed, like, I didn't realize that decision had affected me more than I would have thought, just because that's all I did, And so, like, when I was finally kind of got to college, and like the first semester I was good because like you're meeting a bunch of new people, you're going out, everything. But once you start to set in, it's like, all right, yeah, I'm going to school, I'm going to classes, but like, what else, bro? Like, what I was hooping for a while, and like, it's just you kind of don't even. You have it's almost like my purpose was just kind of like I didn't have any purpose, like, and it almost felt like whatever I was doing, even though I was going to school, I was still kind of selling myself short, because I was just kind of going to school just because that was a thing to do, like that was what I was supposed to do, but I wasn't really taking control and like really figuring out what it is that I really wanted to do. I was just kind of going through the motions of what was going on. But just back to your point, when I finally like felt those feelings of like anxiety, like I started getting like just panic attacks and shit, and like I didn't know what it was, and it fucked me up for a while. So I'm sure that's what a lot of people kind of go through, right?
Yep.
Go through the same shit.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's stages of that. I think what I was feeling, I didn't get to the panic attack part of it. It's just when I was feeling depressed, I just knew, okay, this is why I knew I was depressed. But I knew that it wasn't the toughest thing that I've been through. So I knew I could get through it because I've been through other things in life. So I think that's the thing where it's okay to go through stuff. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be transparent with yourself and other people about just what you've been through, because you'll never know when you need to kind of pull back from that experience and go back. Okay, like I said, football, I lost it, but I remember when in college I didn't have food to eat for money and all that stuff for a month. So it's like, is this really the hardest thing I've been through? Probably not. So I could soak in it a little bit, but you've been through tougher, so I think people need that. It doesn't have to be super drastic. You don't have to lose your home or whatever, but just something where you had to fight back.
For
you
sure.
know, so even if it's a fight versus someone, if it's whatever, you don't have money for this for a week. Okay, you don't have it, but what you gonna do to get out of it?
For
You're
sure.
gonna sit in your room and you're gonna whatever and just wait for it to happen, or or you're just gonna be depressed. But you can soak and be depressed and do your thing, but how are you gonna fix it in the moment? Because just sitting there and waiting for it to happen is probably not the best decision to make. But not having experiences to pull back from, it kind of puts you in that place where, man, like you get depressed and then you start to feel it and then you start to go up. It starts to go up a little bit more, and then it's, like you said, the panic attacks and those things you start to kind of feel that like the world is kind of closing in on you, because you're just there in that moment. So it's just like, man, I just to go back, that's why I want to be that guy where, let me call Coach Keith real quick. Hey, Coach, I'm going through this. What do you think I should do? Hey, when I happened to me, this is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or hey, man, my boy, when we talked about it, this is what he did. You know, so being able to call somebody and just I love my dad, I love my mom, but when you're going through stuff, they're not the first people you don't.
They're not the best people to call.
Yeah, I'm not about to call my dad about this right now. Like, okay, who can I call? That's like, hey, Keith, this is what you should be doing, and give me the real. Don't sugarcoat it. Hey, this is what you're doing wrong, or this is what you're doing right. This is what you should change. Blah blah blah. So having that person or people, whatever, that helps with going through that type of stuff. Like, you've been gone to ASU, is like being there by yourself, not having hoops. Is like, okay, I know I got to go through it, but who can I call? Who is this? Who is that? Who can help me, like, just mentally prepare for the aspect of just being a college student? Like, how many people? I don't even know too many people that were just college students that I can call on. It's like that little stuff. Like, if I just went to school right now, who can I call on? Like, hey, bro, how was the experience like? You know, so it's like, but how do you meet those people without going outside and meeting those people? Like, you'll never know on the internet. So it's like just having things that you can pull back from, people you can, people.
Those experiences, that's huge. The experiences that you can draw back from and look back. Because, like, now that I've kind of overcome, like, obviously I still deal with, like, anxiety here and there, but, like, me thinking back into the times where it was, like, really fucking bad, like, really bad, I can look back on now I look back on what I was able to, like, kind of go through, and the fact that I was able to kind of overcome that. When I feel, like, some adversity now, it's like, oh, I went through this shit, like, and it was way worse than this, bro. So, like, it was crazy because after I kind of, like, got back on my feet after like what I went through and shit, I was all like, bro, if I can get through this, I can do anything I want to do, because nothing's worse than this, what I just went through right now. So, I mean, maybe it could be worse, but I don't know. It was pretty bad. So it was just like, I think I can get through it a lot and anything at this point, because I, like you said, like, those experiences to draw from are really big, bro, for sure.
How did you kind of come to grips with it? With you kind of knowing that it was anxiety and depression, and how did you kind of just like, okay, this is what it is? I always struggle with kind of saying that's what it was. I felt like I was weak when I would say, even a little bit now, Frankie, you're a little anxious. I'm like, nah, I'm not fucking, fuck that. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm not anxious. The hell, I'm cool. Like, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
And I kind of have to, like, remind myself it's not a bad thing to feel that way. But you don't want to let it kind of take yourself over, whatever.
For sure.
How did you kind of just know, okay, this is what it is. How do I fix it?
Yeah. So I always try to, because that's a big thing, right? With being a man, and, like, just, there's definitely there's definitely a perception out there, like, we shouldn't really talk about these type of things, right? We shouldn't. And even if we do experience anxiety, like depression, like, you're really gonna acknowledge it? Like, come on now, like, you got to be tough. Like, people look at you like you got to be the rock, bro. Like, you. So even I do still struggle with, like, kind of sharing that type of stuff. But I guess the reason why is like I talk about it is because I never looked at it as like as an excuse. And like I never want to look at it as something that's kind of held me back. If anything, it's kind of made me who I am today in a way. So it's even though it's not something kind of nobody really wants to admit, right? My thing is like everybody goes through it, and like some people go through it worse than you, and some people kind of go through the same exact shit you're going through. So if that's the case, then like why are we all kind of suffering in silence because of it, you know? If that's not to say like we should talk here and like just kind of complain about it and just like you said, like soak in it and just kind of let it dictate how our lives are going to go from here on out. No, it's just a matter of understanding why it's there and where it comes from, and how are you going to like get better, and how are you going to get past it, and how are you going to use it to kind of build you into a stronger person because of it, you know? So I think I've always wanted to understand why I feel these things. So I guess talking about it kind of helps me out a little bit. But yeah, for sure. Like I talk about it, but I never want to, I've never looked at it as an excuse for why I wasn't able to do something, or why, because at the end of the day, like people are counting on you, you know, like people, you have to be there for people, and you can't, like life's hard, bro. Like things are going to happen. Yeah. So it's just a matter of if I was able to overcome those type of things, like I think it could really help someone if I just share that, because I mean, like I said, a lot of people go through that shit. So I kind of went ramble a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, no, cause I struggle with that. Even now, shoot, I think the kids kind of made me a little softer, but shoot, I cried a lot more these last maybe 2 years than I've ever cried. You know, like sometimes I just wake up and I look at the kids and I just have some tears flowing down. You know, so I'm getting better at the that emotional side, staying kind of in tune with it and in touch with it. But it's been a work in progress. Like I said, people, oh man, you feeling this? Nah, what the hell? Don't put that shit on me. Like I'm chilling, bro. I'm a little sad right now, but I'm alright. Yeah, you know. So like Frankie told me with that, just being able to kind of just okay, I'm feeling a little anxious right now. Yeah, and it doesn't mean I'm not tough or I'm a bitch or whatever. It's just a feeling that you have, and like you're saying, just kind of feeling out why you have that feeling, and then kind of fixing it in the moment. So
I think that's the biggest thing is like. It says more that you're able to, because at the end of the day, if you suppress all these emotions, you suppress everything, it's going to come out in some way at some point, and it's probably not going to be that good for you. But you're not always going to hold it down. Like it's always going to rear its head in some way, whether it's like you lashing out at someone or you just finally cracking, and so I think what people should understand now, especially men, is like it's an emotion just like everything else, right? It's the anxiety, like just feeling depressed from time to time, but you got to understand why you're feeling it. Yeah. And part of being a man is actually like figuring it out at that point. And it definitely helps if you can reach out to other people that have been through it, kind of help you kind of navigate through that. But yeah, eventually, as long as you're able to kind of pull yourself out, I think that's the main thing. And there's always going to be ups and downs, right? Like nobody's ever just riding this like ridiculously like high wave the whole time. There's always just going to be like ebbs and flows in life. But I think it's just learning how to navigate that and not letting your I guess emotions just kind of run crazy, you know. I think, but yeah, man. So what is something that you would like? What's advice you would give to like a young dad, like who's gonna have a kid, or who's what's something that you would tell them, or just something you've learned through you being a father in the last how old is Sophia? 5 years? 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years now. So when you first get into it, you think it's like this big old algorithm where you kind of got to figure out, but it's just simple. Just be there. They're not really looking for you to do anything other than be there. My daughter She talks and she does that thing, and all she ever wants me to do is play with her. Dada, come draw. Dada, come see this. Dada, come watch this. It's never, Dada, can you give me that? Dada, it's like, Dada, come see this. Come see what I'm doing. Come play with me.
Yeah, that's what Frankie's for. Come give me this.
Yeah, it's always just, Dada, come play. Dada, can I come sit with you? Dada, can I come? Can I get in the car and drive with you? Like, Dada, where you going? Can I go? It's like when you're in it, anyone who's about to have a kid or is having kids or whatever, just be there. You figure out when you're having them, if you're with the person you have your kids with or not. In the moment, however long you're with the kids, 18 years, 19, whatever, until everything's gone, they're yours. So the only thing that you can do is be there for them. No matter what you have going on in your life, when you see your kids, you got to be able to just be there. And they appreciate that more than anything you can ever do. The richest person to the poorest person, be there, acknowledge them, and just make sure that you put them ahead of everything else, and then everything else seems to fall into place. Like, Sophia don't know the newest toy to the oldest toy. She don't care. She just, Dada, can you give me this? And it's like, she don't care if I get it today or a month from now. They don't care about that stuff. It's just, I know when I'm there though, and I don't acknowledge her when she wants me to, I can tell that she gets sad. I can tell that she kind of feels like I don't want to play with her or I don't like her, So it's like you always got to be in the moment with them around, because I think that's kind of the biggest thing for them is as they're growing up, they just know Dada's going to be there. And I know that doesn't take any type of money, doesn't take anything but just I guess just me knowing and just that motivation. Okay, I have to be there. No matter what. No matter what's going on with my life, when I get home at 5:00 and I walk through those doors, I got to be there. On the weekend, when they wake up, I got to be there. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, young guys. And I think that's one of my life lessons is just be in the whatever moment you're in, just be there. Because you never know when it's going to go. You never know how long it's going to be there. So when you're in the moment, be in that moment. And then whatever happens after that, you'll be in that moment, and so on and so forth. So I've had to adjust to that as well. As you want to plan out and you want to make sure everything is fine 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now. But then I think you miss out on the now. You start to kind of push past whatever's going on, and then you miss things that, like I said, my kids are doing or whatever, just life is going on. You kind of miss it. And then those are the things that they remember. Like the games and the like I said, the drawings the paintings that she does, it's just anything, picking her up from school, this little stuff. And this is like, they remember that more than you buying her the newest clothes and the newest shoes. Like, I haven't got Sophia's shoes in a minute. She don't even know. I'll buy her some Jordans and she don't like, oh, okay, Dada, these are cool. Yeah. But then she's wearing the bummy shoe, it's like she don't care. It's like, But then, like I said, if I'm not there or I'm gone for a long time, it's just like, Dada, where'd you go? Yeah. Dada, what were you doing? Dada, why'd you leave me? It's like, then she has a bunch of other questions. So, just being there, just being present and being in the moment and just letting them know that you love them. Because at the end of the day, I think that's what everyone wants, is just knowing that no matter what, there's somebody that loves them unconditionally. So, yeah, fathers, just be there, man. And then just life in general, God, just be there.
For sure.
Just be in the moment.
And what would you say if you were to say anything to someone who's kind of, it doesn't have to be football, but maybe something that somebody's been working towards for a while and it didn't necessarily pan out the way they may have envisioned to start with or to begin with. And it's taken a toll on them. You went through that, so how what would you say to them, and how would you say they'd be able to overcome that, what they're feeling?
Outside of finding people that you can talk to, I'm not a big talker, so I don't want to say go talk to someone, because that's not really my thing either. But what I can say is a big thing that I tell myself every day, I have it written on my vision board, is you're the best. I think those 3 words kind of dictate how my day is going to go. I could be feeling a way about how they're treating me at work or whatever, but I know that there's nobody better than me at what we're doing. Give it your all, and then eventually the thing that you want to do is going to move over and translate into something else that you didn't even know that was coming. So the thing that you're working towards, you want to put your all into it, and you want to, like I said, be there in the moment. You want to be you just want to be present in that moment. You don't be the guy that's just rude and mean, and whatever you're going through, you're taking it out with you. Be in the moment, and just remember that no matter what's going on, there's people watching you everywhere. So you may not be the next CEO of this company, of Amazon, but the Google guy is watching you. You don't know where and how, but I'm telling you, someone's watching you, and you never know who that person knows. So best thing for me, the advice I give, I like to give everyone, my youngins, is by yourself, feel how you're going to feel. Soak in it if you need to, cry if you need to. But when you leave the room and there's people around you, remember that whatever you're doing, there's people watching you, and you're the best. And take that with you wherever you go. The trash man, the Dairy Queen flipper, burger guy, the CEO of Amazon. There's every title that I just named, yes, there's levels to it, but everything is a job. Everyone has a job, no matter where you're at in life. But the thing that people fail to realize is when you're in the moment and you say, I'm just the guy that flips burgers, right? But there's people around you. There's the manager that's always there. There's the rep that always comes in every now and then. There's people that come in and watching you, right? So when you're feeling like that, it translates, and people see that's the energy. People feel that energy from you, and then it translates. But there's a flip side to that, is where I'm the best burger flipper in the world. Like, I used to compete with the timer that they had. I didn't get paid no extra money, bro. It's okay, I'm getting this done in 20 seconds. Like, that's what I was feeling like. They didn't give me no extra money, no bonuses. I just knew, okay, if that thing hits a minute, I lost. Yeah. So that's my thing. It's just, you gotta be the best. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Just be the best, and then everything else will fall into place. I think everyone would like to do what they want to do, obviously. But not everyone has that luxury. So, but if you are preparing yourself for the moment, it could be the moment that you are envisioning, or a moment that someone else is envisioning for you. But you have to be prepared for whatever moment it is. So my thing is, those 3 words is you're the best. So figure out what that is. Figure out how that translates for you in whatever you're doing. And that, on those words, that phrase is translatable anywhere. For me, I believe it's just, you got to know when to use it and how to use it. Like I said before, I couldn't go to my workplace and say, this dude can't fucking guard me, because there's no one guarding me.
This dude can't guard me, coach.
Hey, boss, he can't fuck with me. I can't go in there and say that, right? Because what are you talking about? Like, there's no one guarding you. But there's another way you say that when you walk into the building. Like, yeah, I got all my stuff is done already. Yeah. I'm done with everything. So it's like that feeling where you just walk in and they just know, I'm going to get 100%, 110% from this girl, boy. Every time they walk in, I know I can count on this person right here. So, just that phrase, write it down somewhere. Like I said, I got it on my vision board. Every time I'm doing something, I always feel like someone's watching me. I always feel like someone's trying to be better than me. So I just got to be better than you. I got to be better than you. There's everyone. Anytime you see me, you know that Keith is going to give you, okay, I got to make sure I'm on my A game when I'm around Keith, because if not, he's going to make me look like I'm not supposed to be here. And I could walk in the room and not know anything about whatever is going on, but when we there, it's gonna feel like I know everything. I want people to feel that, like, when you go into these new different these lanes and these moments that you're feeling, you want people to feel like, all right, I don't know who this person is, but they got something. There's something about them that I just need to, I gotta be around. I gotta talk to them. And I think it's just more of that self-confidence where you kind of border that line of confidence, cocky-ish, but it's more just, I know that what I bring to the table is what a lot of people don't bring that feeling for it, So just always have that. I'm the best. I'm better. I feel like I do a lot for whatever is going on. You just have to have that feeling. Like, I just know what I bring, and I don't think there's anyone in the world who brings what I'm bringing. And there could be, but you want that feeling where you elevate the room, and people know as soon as you walk in, that motherfucker right there, oh yeah, he got something to him. So just have that feeling. Just be the best, and if you have that confidence, you'll have your downs and your whatever, but you'll always kind of rejuvenate and always kind of get that energy back, where no matter what, as soon as I get to where I'm going, I'm gonna be the best at it. So that's my phrase and my words that I use daily. Yeah.
You're the best. I like that.
You're the best.
And fuck it, even if it's not in football, you still say, this dude can't fuck with me, man.
And you walk into the Amazon spot, and he can't pack like me, bro. I don't know why you got it. Like, this bro can't load the shit like me. Like, it's just, you gotta have that. So where people say, this dude over here can't drive like me. I just got done with my whole route in 4 hours. He can't fuck with me, So had that.
For sure.
Had that.
Most def. Well, yeah, man. The camera died on us, but it's all good. We still got the audio. All right. But yeah, that's a good combo, man. I'm glad we were able to do this shit, man.
I appreciate you, big dog.
Yeah, this is episode 14, the most vulnerable player, with Marquis Sumpter. Man, you have a good story, a great story, bro, and I'm glad that you were able to share it. And I definitely look up to you in a lot of ways, whether like you know that or not. But I definitely, I think you set like a really good example for just even me, or just even like you said, a lot of the people that that you kind of help out and you kind of lead through the way. So just kind of keep doing you, bro. There's still so much to be done, and the future's bright for sure.
I appreciate you, big dog. Yeah. Appreciate you.
But yeah, man, we'll see you next time on the MVP.
Yes, sir.